Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Just Chatting Gaming News and Trailers for... It is actually January 28th. Got a bunch of gaming news stories to cover and a bunch of trailers. Yesterday was actually bonkers because there was like a 2-hour-long ESO event. There was like a 30-minute Sea of Thieves event. There was a Path of Exile event. And like a bunch of other stuff. It was crazy. So let's go ahead and start with the news. First story we're going to look at is Microsoft Flight Simulator is getting DLSS and DirectX 12. And to that I say, thank you, because the game is going to run so much better with that DLSS. Game is probably going to look better with DX12 too. So very, very happy that that's coming at some point down the road. Because I know even with like a beast of a machine, it's real hard to run max settings and get a constant 60 FPS in that game. Almost impossible, I'd say. So that's very cool that they're adding that. Next story comes out of Ubisoft. As you may or may not know, they had a PvP shooter called Hyperscape. Anybody ever heard of it? Crickets? Crickets? Hold on. Let me kill the music. Crickets? Hyperscape? No? Anyway, it's getting shut down. And I don't think too much more needs to be said. Next story, as I mentioned to chat before we actually started this, Sea of Thieves had a 20-some minute event yesterday where they talked about the plans for this game. And we're not going to watch the entire video. I'm essentially just going to summarize it a little bit. Basically, they are adding a crap ton of content to Sea of Thieves. I feel like this is a game that they have essentially changed what this game is. I mean, it kind of started out as like, you can play it by yourself, you can play it with your friends, you're out on the sea, you're getting cosmetic stuff, you know, you're fighting each other in PvP ships, and then now it's like, this is a story-driven adventure game, and they're just adding a crap ton of content to it. They're going to be doing seasons. I heard from one person, they almost said it sounds like they're doing a Destiny to this game, but they're going to be doing the seasonal stuff with like fully interactive cutscenes and story and just craziness. So I've actually never played Sea of Thieves, but it might actually be time to jump in on that. And I believe it's on Game Pass, if I'm not mistaken. So if you've got Game Pass, you basically have no reason not to try it. Back last year, they actually did a collab event with Disney, and they actually introduced a Pirates of the Caribbean story into that game. So you can actually go in and play with Jack Sparrow and all those guys and do crazy things. So yeah, I think this year is going to be the year. I definitely want to check Sea of Thieves out at some point this year. Next up, Guerrilla has announced that Horizon Forbidden West has gone gold. So very exciting for them. If you don't know what that means, basically means the game is done. And they're printing the discs. I'm sure there will still be like a day one patch and all kinds of stuff like that. But traditionally, if it's gold, it's done and they're printing discs. So very exciting for that game. That game looks absolutely fantastic. Next up, there was a WB event. And as part of that event, they confirmed that both Hogwarts Legacy, which is the single-player Harry Potter like open world game, that game is going to be confirmed for this year, as is Gotham Knights. That image is a little bit blurry, and I'm not sure why. But I am totally down for a new... I mean, really, there hasn't been that many Harry Potter games, so I guess really a first really good Harry Potter RPG sounds very, very cool. And they've actually shown Gotham Knights a couple of times now, and that game looks absolutely fantastic, so I'm ready for a good, solid DC sort of RPG fighter type game, so that'd be cool. Next up, I believe Nibel has this as a rumor, but I believe this has been confirmed at this point, that Certain Affinity is working on an Xbox exclusive Monster Hunter type game that is slated for 2023 or 2024. Probably the reveal in 2023 and then the release in 2024. I find that to be a little bit interesting because you have Monster Hunter, which is essentially the king of that genre. You also have Dlss, which is actually owned by Epic, but Dlss is on every system. So it's a little bit of a surprise to me that they would want to go and make their own Monster Hunter type game when the fact that those other two are already on the system. Why not just support them instead of trying to make something new? So I guess we'll see. And then the final news story of the day is maybe a little bit of a sad story, but Jeff Kirschnacker is out there on Twitter. He was the lead composer for Wildstar. And with that being said, let me switch music here real quick. Throw on some Wildstar music. He said, yeah, 8 years ago today, we recorded the Wildstar main theme, and from there, I guess the rest is history. So it's kind of like a little bit sad that game went under when I personally liked that game a lot. I thought it was great, and I know a lot of other people did as well. But it's some of the best MMO music ever done for a game, and it'll always be part of my playlist here on Twitch. So I know he was working for Blizzard, and he's like, I'm out. I'm leaving this craziness after everything started happening. So I'm not sure where he is these days. But yeah, there you go, chat. That's the news of the day. So next we'll get into some trailers. So as I mentioned, I'm going to go ahead and kill the Wildstar music for a second. As I mentioned, there were big, long events. And if we were to sit here and watch all of those events, we'd be here for like 3 or 4 hours. So we're not going to do that. So some of it we might skim a little bit. But yeah, we've got, what did I say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 8 or 9 trailers. So how about we go ahead and start with this game? I have not seen this trailer yet. The Legacy of the Sith story trailer from the BioWares. Here we go.
The Jedi will tell you that to seek power is to embrace darkness. The Empire will tell you that power is a reward for deception. Dishonorable tyrants, councils of fools. They want you to believe that this war means something. But the friends you save and the enemies you slaughter will achieve nothing. The undeserving, the weak, will still have power. But power belongs to those who are unafraid to take it. Those who are bold enough to openly wield it. This fire will light the way for the strong. And when the galaxy is in flames, power will be yours. If you are willing to burn.
Oh, Malgus. Quit being so crazy. Chat, hold on. Do we know, I mean, we know that some of the story takes place on Manon, but do we know, I'm trying to find the shot here. Do we know where this is? I mean, this has got to be a Sith temple, right? Interesting flora. I think Forrester in chat is saying, is it Elom? Is that how you say it? E-L-O-M? It's like snowing and stuff. Oh, wait. So we're actually getting a team up here Okay. Oh, chat saying that this is a flashpoint. And then Malgus comes out. I'm assuming this is Malgus. Huh. Interesting. But yeah, that comes out here in about 3 weeks, give or take. All right, next up we have a trailer for 2 Point Campus. They announced the release date of May 17th, and they announced it's going to be day one on Game Pass.
Here at 2 Point Campus, we accept just about anyone. But what does life on campus have to offer you? Meet new people, see professional musicians, stand awkwardly in the corner having the time of your life.
That's me.
Once you've recovered from doing nothing, you can join one of our many unique classes. Our mostly qualified team of professors will mold your mind like a mound of mashed potato before coating it in a thick gravy of knowledge. Now that is
Big
savory.
pizza.
And if that sounds like too much work, you can always find glory on the cheese ball field and talk about it until the end of time. At 2 Point Campus, you won't just learn, you'll experience life at its fullest. And who knows, maybe even find true love. So don't miss out on the opportunity of a lifetime. Enroll today. We could really use the money.
Sega. So, a quick story about this. For those who might not know, back in the day, there was a development studio by the name of Bullfrog. And Bullfrog made a lot of classic games in the late 90s, maybe even early 2000s. And one of them was Theme Hospital. Well, a couple years ago, a bunch of the old developers got together and remade Theme Hospital in a game that they call 2 Point Hospital. So it looks like they took everything they knew from 2 Point Hospital and made this game, which is 2 Point Campus, where instead of running the madness of a hospital, you're running the madness of a college. So I really, really enjoyed the original game. So I'll definitely give this a shot. It's on Game Pass. I might just straight up buy it. I mean, I put a lot of time into 2 Point Hospital because it was really, really good. Next trailer. This was a surprise trailer that came out yesterday. Don't know how many of you have seen or even heard that this came out. And you know what? I don't even know if I want to tell you what it is. Either you'll figure it out, or I'll tell you at the end. So here we go. This is all new footage, never seen before. You can see some of the levels are unfinished. Well, that guy's dead.
Stay on him! I'll catch up! Don't let him get away!
It's Star Wars meets Uncharted. Dun dun dun. Yeah, so I don't know the full story on this, but apparently this footage was found, and so it was released on YouTube yesterday. Yeah, we haven't seen any new footage of 1313 in years, so it's pretty cool that this was found and uploaded. But I think like every major game site like did a story on this being found. But I think it's good for 1313 or Star Wars in general, because, you know, all this excitement was just generated, and then maybe somebody will be like, all right, yeah, we will pick that up. And because I don't think they'd be able to continue it. It's too old at this point. They'd want to start from scratch, but they could still take the idea, you know. Yeah, really cool stuff. All right, next trailer is for the new season of Path of Exile. Let's take a look.
Cirrus is dead. Zana has chosen exile. But the Atlas of Worlds remains a beacon for eldritch horrors. We imprisoned the Elder. We placated the Maven. We've been preparing for the arrival of another, but we never expected Thor. They embody insatiable hunger, crushing darkness, searing flame, merciless wrath. If we don't stop them, they will consume everything. This is a war for our very existence.
This game is bonkers. Or as they call it, better Diablo.
They are here. Stand with us, or we will all perish.
February 4th. So as I mentioned, this was another group that did a hour-long presentation yesterday, and I actually did watch all of this. The amount of stuff that they're putting into this game and the changes that they're making to PoE, man, it's crazy. They're also working on Path of Exile 2, but I believe they confirmed that their current target date on that is fall of next year. It just sucks that this league is launching in February with everything else. And I believe it's the same day as Dying Light 2. So it's just like, man, you gotta pick and choose. It's gonna be nuts. Absolutely nuts. So speaking of companies that put together really long presentations yesterday, here is the next one. This presentation was 2 hours, and we are just doing the cinematic announcement trailer. So here we go. I do want to watch this entire presentation. I just got to find the time to do it. Also, this game is on sale right now, and I also just bought it and installed it. Is this the Thieves Guild? Yeah, they can do some very impressive cinematics. This looks real good. I want to be an elf. Be cool if the game actually looked like this. He just got hit in the shoulder. They brought the barbarian. He's gonna rage. Oh, it's too late. Who's this guy? Pre-purchase now. What was the launch date on this? Hold on. Hold on. Back it up. Oh, June 6th. Okay. Yeah, it'd be fun to get into this game here at some point in the next couple of weeks. Give it a good try. Somebody was I think I was listening to a podcast or something, and somebody was saying, yeah, it sucks that the worst part of ESO is the combat. And I'm like, ooh. Would you guys agree with that? Is the worst part the combat? All right, next up we have a gameplay trailer for Elden Ring. Don't know if we're gonna watch this whole thing or not. We'll because it's like one of them weird deals. Let's check it out. Good thing that horse is magical. I think this video might just be like running around exploring the open world. Oh, is that tree like your campfire? Oh, he's not gonna go see it. What is shooting at him? Oh, is there a dragon over there? Oh, it's not a dragon, it's a giant guy with a giant bow. That's right, take out his legs. Smart move. Oh, they're not gonna show. Well, I was gonna say, I don't think they're showing the actual fight. Maybe they are. I guess not. Yeah, the only Souls-like that I've really played is Jedi Fallen Order. I briefly tried Sekiro and gave up on it, but I've never played Demon Souls. I've never played Dark Souls or Bloodborne. So I'm thinking next to Fallen Order, this is probably going to be the first like actual Souls-like that I want to play. This one is also like the first like open world as well. Wonder if you can do stealth kills. I mean, he's sneaking right now. Oh, they're not going to show it. They did that remaster of Demon Souls on PS5. I've been thinking about picking that up and streaming that at some point. But yeah, one of the big things about the creator of this game and the other games they've done is they have so many hidden things in these games. And I was listening to another content creator, and they were saying that one of the coolest things about this game coming out is experiencing it with everybody else for the first time, and there'll be just so much chatter and talk and people making videos about, oh, I did this or I did that, or I found this or I found that, or here's a secret, and then just basically the community coming together to find and discover and figure out all the things. So that's gonna be pretty cool. It's like weird jelly things down there. Oh, there he goes. He fell on it. It turned to red. He's gonna get sprayed by the jelly. Like, I'm trying to decide, like, if I play this, it's like, do I, like, what kind of weapons do I want to go with? Like, what kind of class do I want to go with? Like, even in this video, like, right now they're showing sword and board, but they were showing, what the deuce? I don't want to play this game. Oh, that was actually the end of the video. Let me skip around here for a second. Because wasn't he, okay, so, and I think you do multiple weapons sets, because he just switched there. Because, like, right now, that's a two-handed axe. And I thought he was like dual wielding short blades at some point here. And I have no idea how like the skill trees work or anything like that. So yeah, now he's got a sword and a bow. So yeah, Elden Ring looks very, very interesting. It's also going to be very interesting to see what that game gets for reviews. All right, next trailer. We've seen a bunch of trailers for this game, but they decided to do another behind the scenes, and it's the sound of this game. And you guys know I like my sound design, so let's check it out. Saifu.
Hello, my name is Howie Lee. I'm a music composer.
He's my cousin.
And a producer. I make mostly electronic music.
We were looking at the work of different artists at the time of our very first demo when we came across Howie Lee's Natural Disaster. And we immediately thought, wow, that will totally fit with Sifu.
I didn't have any experience previous to working on a video game. I was producing mostly club music.
It was very experimental and we loved it, so we really hoped that he would be okay to join us on the project.
Sifu is a very good fit for my style, which combines traditional elements and some modern electronic stuff. I immediately felt that it's a project that I really want to do.
We started with an overview of the different levels of the game. Then we defined with Howie the tone and variation of tension for each situation that the players will encounter.
The story is about revenge, and I wanted the soundtrack to reflect it. It's kind of dark, it's mostly percussive, with a lot of dub, techno and drum and bass influences, and with like big Chinese percussion sets. For example, I will use a very old and traditional plucked instrument, and then I will add distortion to make sounds darker and have the movement. I use drums to build up the tension, to build up the rhythm that the player can follow up. Composing music for Sifu was very different from composing my normal club tracks. The music is not really based on a timeline, rather you set up vibes for different phases or
There's a lot of guys surrounding you there.
So the different loops makes the player's experience quite interactive.
We wanted the music to progress with the player. The music integration work was done hand in hand with the level design team.
I wanted to create a sense of space with the music. I made a lot of layers of tensions that evolve into each other's.
The game is split into 5 very distinctive environments with strong artistic identities. We wanted the music to reflect that. Each level of the game is linked to a traditional Chinese element and a core instrument in the soundtrack.
So for example, for the metal ones, you speak gongs and a gamelan instrument. For the wood, I will use some bamboo flutes.
JT.
To represent fire, I use some instruments that's kind of making a burning sound. It really does create this whole dimension of the game.
Besides the soundtrack composition and integration, we worked with my team on giving a credible sound environment, such as the ambience noises, destruction sounds, or any sound that the character makes when he moves. We had an unexpected opportunity by working with Benjamin, the Pac-Man master who helped us to
We've
design
already
the
seen
game.
that video.
He has an orchestra of traditional percussion instruments for the Lion's Dance. So we asked the professional percussionist to record these drums, to use them as a complement in the music, but also
That's
in
a
the
Japanese
navigation
bantha, by the
sound
way.
of the game.
I feel there is a lot of that music and martial arts have in common. It's all about how you bring the qi. In Chinese, we call it qi, which means the airflow or...
All right, new rule, chat. Whenever you guys join the stream, you have to bring your chi. Okay? You guys work on that for tomorrow.
the bracing.
It was amazing to work with Howie. I'm glad that he chose us for his very first video game, and I'm very satisfied of the results. I hope players will enjoy it as well.
I'm really happy to be part of the project, and I'm pretty excited that the full original soundtrack will be available for players. It's my biggest music project to date. I hope you will like it.
February 8th. That game looks fantastic. Jay Malman says, "Chi is something you always carry with you." But yeah, you have to project it to me because I need your energy. That's what I'm saying. Okay, we got 2 more trailers for tonight. Final 2 trailers will be for Lost Ark. They have started to release their trailers. And these are trailers that I 100% want to watch because they are pick your class. We're going to watch the Assassin and the Gunner. Because we got to figure out what class we're playing. I think I'm playing Assassin, but let's just verify. Are these in 4K? No. What are you doing? Come on.
Hey, what's up guys? My name is Arix and welcome to the world of Lost Ark. Arcasia awaits, a world full of mysteries, monsters, dungeons, demons and so much more. But in order to embark on your adventure, first you must make a character and choose a class. And therein lies the reason behind this video. Today we're going to be taking a look at one of the 5 main classes in Lost Ark, the Assassin, as well as the associated advanced classes to help you make up your mind for when you dive in. I want to give a quick shout out to Amazon for very kindly sponsoring this video. Don't
Amazon?
forget, if you want to find out more about Lost Ark, you can click the link in the description.
All
box
right, I'm
down
getting
below.
some notes here.
Now, Lost Ark has 5 main classes for you to choose from. The Warrior, Martial Artist, Gunner, Mage, and Assassin. And each of those main classes is then broken into an array of advanced classes, or subclasses to use another commonly known term. In total, between the 5 classes, there are 15 advanced classes giving you plenty of ways to play the game based on your preferred playstyle. But in this video, we're going to be focusing solely on the Assassin. Assassins are mysterious melee makers who fight demonic with demonic, channeling the dark powers in the name of the light in quick, colourful attacks. They are close-range fighters who harness their demonic power to crush anything that stands in their way, and what they lack in overall health, they more than make up for in mobility and burst damage potential. Their damage scales with dexterity, which is the main attribute for this class, so keep this in mind as you level up and obtain gear. If you typically take on the role of a DPS in MMOs, then the Assassin will be right up your street. Dive in, dish out high, burst damage, and dash out before...
Who says that? Right up your street? This guy. It's right up your alley.
the enemy even knows what hit them. The Assassin then splits into, currently, one of 2 advanced classes. The Shadow Hunter and the Deathblade.
I think I'm doing
The
Shadow
Hunters
Hunter.
prefer to beat the demons at their own game. They can shapeshift into powerful demonic forms to unleash chaotic power. When their inner demon is unleashed, Shadow Hunters get access to incredibly destructive powers alongside increased health and movement speed. Quite literally giving the enemies a taste of their own medicine. And honestly, this is probably my favourite of the 2 advanced classes, purely because of these badass demonic powers. It makes you feel so incredibly powerful going full demon mode to lay waste to anything that stands in your way. With this class, melee attacks in human form will build your Shadow Burst meter, which is the meter used to transform into a demon. You can take advantage of your tripod system to either gain more Shadow Burst charge on attacks, allowing for more frequent demon mode usage, or you can consume that charge for more powerful attacks. So depending on what you want to lean more into, you have options. Despite the increased health from demon mode though, you are still not a tank.
Forrester says he's English. You don't have alleys. Next thing you're going to tell me is you don't have routers, and instead you call it like a router or something.
So, as you'd expect from an assassin, you still want to remain mobile, dart in, dish out damage, ideally from the back, and get out before you die. One really cool move in this class is Demonic Clone. This sees you call forth an incarnation of the devil to attack by your side, performing wide sweeping attacks and a powerful final blow. Spinning Weapon allows you to send out both of your weapons, making them spin where they stand, inflicting consistent damage. First you send out the left one, then hitting the key a second time,
Kill them,
allows
robots.
the second blade to be sent out. And if you want to go full power, you also have Demon Vision, which will see you fire out a high energy beam of destruction. Overall though, the Shadow Hunter is a relatively easy class to play with excellent damage output and some very flashy moves. A lot of fun and a great place to dive in. Alternatively, you have the Deathblade. This advanced class uses a total of 3 swords that they wield alongside their Power of Chaos, and they use these to swiftly slash their foes. The fast-paced combo attacks from the light dual swords and the longsword are great for overpowering enemies, leading to death by 1,000 cuts. This is a combo-heavy class that does require a degree of mechanical skill in order to execute high-damaging combos, so it will take some practice to get this down, but when successful, they're fantastic at crowd-controlling enemies with a variety of attacks and can then take full advantage of that window to dish out devastating damage. As a Deathblade, you'll be using a wide range of rapid hitting attacks to build up the Deathblade Arts, your class identity skill. When activated, you become a supercharged version of yourself that's faster, hits harder, and can unleash a devastating final blow. The Deathblade has access to an array of powerful skills, but to call out just one, Moonlight Sonic is a very nice ability. Great damage output, a means to pull enemies towards you to set them up for follow-ups, and the ability to change the element through the tripod system, with Dark being a great pick for endgame. You also have Blitz Rush, allowing you to charge forward to advance and attack your enemy. Doing so sees you inflict damage with your dual sword, and when overcharged, you can even inflict further damage and knock back foes. Overall though, this class features excellent mobility, high damage output, and excellent buffs to support your team in endgame activities. Additionally, it's also a fantastic PvP class, albeit with a slightly steeper learning curve. So if you fancy diving into the arena and going toe-to-toe with other players, then this might be
Pretty sure that's what I want to do.
Additionally, all classes have the choice of 2 powerful awakening abilities. These are unlocked once you hit level 50 and they consume a resource known as Awakening Chaos Piece. You can only use one at a time, so you must pick your favourites, but the Deathblade has access to either Flash Blink or Blade Assault. Flash Blink will see you quickly dash through the foe with all swords, piercing the enemy and hitting multiple times. Meanwhile, Blade Assault will see you collect energy to attract enemies, inflict damage with twin swords, and then summon countless swords for a powerful finishing blow. Meanwhile, the Shadowhunter has access to either Gates of Eruption or Fallen Ruin. Gates of Eruption sees you unleash the power of demons to open the Gates of Hell, inflicting damage to all enemies.
Unleash the demons.
Meanwhile, Fallen Ruin, a personal favourite of mine, will see you leap into the air, radiate a laser beam
That's a cool
towards
move.
the ground, and then immediately cause the ground beneath to explode. Basically, big, earth-shattering damage. So, there you have it. That's a quick look at the Assassin and the 2 currently available advanced classes. Both fantastic picks for those looking to dish out
But
higher
there will be
burst damage
more.
while still remaining mobile on the battlefield. Again, massive shout out to Amazon for very kindly sponsoring this video. Don't forget to click the link in the description box down below if you want to find out more about Lost Ark, and of course keep it locked on the channel for more Lost Ark content. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.
All right. And we're switching over to the next one, which is the Gunner class. Let's take a look. I don't know, maybe watching these will make me change my mind. But before I got access to the beta, I found some fan site that did something similar to this, and that's why I was like, oh, Assassin, that's going to be my class. But we'll see.
Hello everyone, my name is Nagura, and today I'm going to give you a rundown of the Gunner class and all its advanced classes for Lost Ark. The team over at Amazon Games have sponsored me to create this video, so big shout out to them, and let's get started. Why would you want to play Gunner? All the advanced Gunner classes are DPS focused, all of them being powerful ranged attackers. The appeal of the Gunner is consistent heavy damage from a safe distance. Now there's one exception in the subclasses, which I'll get to later, but the generally allure of gunplay, the rule of cool, and feeling like that ranged badass is why you'll want to go Gunner. Let's start off with Gunslinger. The Gunslinger wields pistols, a shotgun, and a rifle. A Gunslinger can freely switch between each of these weapons depending on your current needs. The pistols are your standard weapon stance of choice. The shotgun is your best option for short-range burst effect damage. And lastly, the rifle is your best pick for long-range damage.
I want to see that
you
auto
can
cannon.
choose which ability you want to use for each of those weapons and then freely switch between them. There's a nice indicator in the middle of your user interface showing how many abilities are ready and how many are still on cooldown for the 2 weapons you currently are not using. Let's talk about each weapon in a bit more detail, starting off with your handgun stance. This is your basic fighting stance, suitable for quickly attacking enemies.
Reminds me of the Demon Hunter in Diablo a lot.
Your basic attack turns into a quick double tap from your handgun with a medium range that can pierce through enemies. Some handgun abilities are Somersault Shot, a forward jump while also firing your handguns looking pretty badass. And Equilibrium fires both of your handguns across a broad area around your character.
It's what you call a forward cone attack.
Shotgun is great at close combat, dealing a huge amount of damage with a high chance to break gear or stagger enemies. Your auto attacks turn into a short to mid-range shotgun attack. Some abilities are Hour of Judgment. Fires 3 bullets in a cone-shaped area. If you hit a target with a bullet, it will scatter behind the target, doing additional area of effect damage. And Last Request fires a powerful explosive bullet, doing a big amount of damage and launching enemies into the air. Last but not least, Rifle Stance. Rifle Stance is for long-range attacks. Your auto attack turns into high-range, big damage shot, and some of the rifle abilities are Catastrophe. Throws a claymore at the target location and detonates it. Make sure to release it at the correct time. Perfect Shot fires a high-speed, large-caliber bullet, and if you release it during the perfect time, you do additional damage and knock back enemies. Now to the Awakening abilities. High-caliber HE bullet shoots 1 big bullet forward that creates a large, rare blast. This is a very high range. And Eye of Twilight might just be the coolest I am the main character ability in the game. Now, if you look at your watch and the time is always high noon, or you're looking for an easy-to-learn / hard-to-master subclass, the Gunslinger is a flavorsome and fun class that feels great. Moving on to Deadeye. Do you know Gun Fu? Deadeye does.
I know Gun
The male
Fu.
counterpart to the Gunslinger retains the ability to switch between weapons depending on the situation and has a lot of similar abilities to the Gunslinger. Deadeye is a more punishing advanced class in comparison to Gunslinger though, but the reward is a high skill ceiling that better players can abuse. Same as for the Gunslinger, the 3 weapons you can switch between are handgun, rifle, and shotgun. Some abilities are Spiral Tracker, throws a handgun at the target location and does area of effect damage for 15 hits. Meteor Stream fires bullets into the air and calls them down like meteors. And Deathfire hits all nearby enemies in a cool blossom
That's your
of lead
Reaper
and
finisher
death.
right there.
Moving on to shotgun stance. Shotgun Rapid Fire does exactly what you think it does, unleashing 3 heavy short-range attacks in quick sequence. Shotgun Dominator fires 2 shotguns followed by a finishing shot that knocks down enemies. And last but not least, Rifle Stance. Spiral Flame is a line attack that charges up and launches a powerful flame bullet in a line that sets everything ablaze in its path. And Aim Shot fires 4 rounds of high-caliber bullets and you are able to change direction as the ability is going off. Now the most interesting part, the Awakening skills. Deadeye's Awakening skills are Bursting Flare, which is an insane triple tap line attack, dealing a huge amount of damage and knocking enemies away.
Pulling out like a
and
railgun.
Flame Bombardment is an area of effect ability, throwing multiple explosives around you, then burst firing your handgun at them and launching enemies into the air. To summarize again, Deadeye and Gunslinger are very similar, Deadeye being one of the more punishing advanced classes. But the reward is a high skill ceiling that better players can abuse. Let's talk about Artillerist. What's the point of playing a gunner if you're not gonna use the biggest guns available to you that would make an 80s action film blush? Blast the face of your enemies with the shotgun-esque buckshot. Melt mobs in satisfying AoE using the flamethrower. Fill them full of holes with the disgustingly
actually, I mean,
satisfying
looking at that
Gatling
now,
gun,
I don't know if I like
or
it.
Scorch the Earth with the ridiculous napalm shot. But this doesn't mean the Artillerist is some sort of ranged glass cannon. Far from it. The Artillerist comes
more
with a
tanky, I
surprising
think.
amount of speed and shields that mean you can tank a lot of hits other classes might not get away with. Gameplay-wise, if you hit enemies with your abilities, it fills up your firepower gauge. Depending on how much firepower you have, you gain a 10%, 20%, or even 30% damage increase. Once you fill up the firepower
I
to
feel
full,
like
you can activate Barrage Mode.
I feel like I
And
would
in
do a
Barrage Mode, you hop
Gunslinger.
into your Siege Cannon and unleash bombastic DPS. Your Awakening abilities are Missile Barrage, a targeted ability raining down explosive bullets in a big circular area, and Heavy Turret, spawns a turret at the targeted location, dealing big amounts of area of effect damage and additionally shooting a large beam. Those abilities are being repeated multiple times before the turret despawns. So if you want to be the me in Ridiculous Mech, Artillerist is for you. The last advanced class we have to talk about is Sharpshooter. Guns in my fantasy game? No thank you, sir. If you want a ranged physical DPS advanced class but don't need those loud clumsy guns, then Sharpshooter is the arrow-popping powerhouse.
See, one thing that's kind of weird is for Assassin, they only showed us 2, but for Gunner, they're showing us 4. So I'm assuming that the Korean version has 4, but they're just not bringing over the other 2 yet.
For you. The Sharpshooter blends ranged and melee combat. You'll rain damage down from range, then, when your melee cooldowns are up and it's safe, you'll wait into melee to do even more damage. But you
See,
won't
now,
be doing
this
this
one looks
alone.
okay.
The Sharpshooter's
I kinda like the
class
bow.
mechanic has a trusty companion you can summon that helps you with either sustained damage with a debuff or burst damage by making the birdie explode. Sorry, birdie. Some standard ranged abilities are Arrow Shower, a placed AoE barrage attack, Arrow Wave sends a tornado arrow hitting an enemy up to 4 times, and some melee abilities are Blade Storm, unleashes a flurry of blades around.
See, that's kind of interesting. It's kind of like a half and half
Claymore Mine.
class.
Set up a mine at the target location and retreat at the same time, knocking enemies back and dealing damage on impact. If you hit enemies with your abilities, you will gain Hawk Meter, displayed at the bottom middle of your user interface. Once it fills up all the way, you can summon your Silver Hawk. Your Silver Hawk assists you with attacking enemies and can use 2 active abilities. Wings of Storm. The Hawk flies in a circle at the target location, doing area of effect
A lot of
damage.
AoE.
And Last Rush sends the Silver Hawk toward the target location, exploding for a huge amount of damage. Keep in mind, your pet disappears after using this ability, so don't use it too early to get the most out of it. Now to your awakening abilities. Fenrir's Messenger summons a big ghost wolf that charges towards the targeted location. And Golden Eye is a bird apocalypse tornado to take out nearby foes. Additionally, you also gain a powerful stealth for 7 seconds.
Oh, wow.
Sharpshooter is the quintessential archer. So if that's what you're looking for in your video games, then this is the one for you. Alright, I hope this helped you get an overview of the gunners and all
Still
its
think the first
advanced
one was the one that I liked the
classes.
most.
If you need additional information or you want to check out the game,
Gunslinger.
then click the link in the description below. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.
Alright, cool. So yeah, there you go. That's 2 of the classes in Lost Ark. So I'm sure over the next week or so they'll release the next 3, and we'll make sure that we'll cover those here on Trailer Time. But I think that is it. Let me just double check here real quick to make sure I got everything. I think we're good, chat. So yeah, for those who are watching on YouTube, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.